is Kendall Anise, the remix coach for Sheen magazine. I'm so excited for this conversation today. I have a legend right here. He puts the cool in Kool in the Gang, and he's a Jersey boy. So I definitely have to say that before we get started. One of my top favorite songs, my go-to songs, is a song of his. We'll talk about that and how I grew up literally on this music, even getting the words when I was 8 years old, riding in the car with my mother in her station wagon to Ladies Night. I am pleased and honored to introduce to you, or reintroduce to some, Robert Kool Bell of the legendary group, the Grammy-winning group, Kool and the Gang. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am well. I'm so excited to do this interview. And with Sheen magazine, you know, they have a lot of younger interviewers, but I'm in my 50s. So I was like, they came to me first. I said, absolutely, because I know about Kool and the Gang in real time.
Oh, very good.
Yes. So looking at the background, my God, all of that over there. How does that feel when you walk into that room and see all of those accolades on the board, on the wall?
Well, we feel very good about it. It's part of our accomplishments over the years. We started back 1964.
Yeah.
The Jazzy Acts, and then the Soul Town Band, and then Kool and the Flames, and then Kool and the Gang. And our 70s was more of a, you know, coming up out of our 60s, where we were backing up various groups around Jersey City, and there was Motown songs, and Soul Town Review was trying to be like the Motown Review.
Yeah.
And we were the Soul Town Band. But when we came up with our first record in 1969, we had developed a sound that was a mixture of that R&B and that jazz that we were doing in the 60s. It came up with some of our first records, like A Breezing Soul, or Sea of Tranquility, or songs like Funky Man, Funky Granny, crazy names like Chocolate Buttermilk, Raw Hamburgers.
Y'all would do.
Yeah, we moved on to mid-70s with Funky Stuff, Hollywood Swinging.
Yes.
And Jungle Boogie.
Yes, classic, legendary songs. And I'm looking at you, you look phenomenal. What are you doing over there? Are you still in Jersey? Because you're looking amazing, Mr. Bell.
Well, I changed my look a little bit, you know. I'm letting my gray grow out a little bit. It's not really like it's white, like Santa Claus or something. You need to change up your look. I said, well, I mean, I used to look a certain way all the time, but I'm changing up. Because I said the gray beard looked more distinguished. I said, oh, that's what it is. I thought it made me look old.
No, not at all. And, you know, before we started, your son was there, Prince Hakeem. Everybody remembers him from his group, but he was there helping you. So, you know, having your son there and being involved in your career, does that help you look and feel as young as you do as well?
Yeah, well, my son, you know, he goes out with me from time to time. He comes out and he raps on Celebration or Hollywood Swinging. And he moved into the whole DJ world now. DJ Prince Hakeem.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good, building his name out there.
I love that. I love that it's still a family affair. That says a lot about you, and even trusting this. Sometimes we have to trust the younger people in our lives to make sure we're on task with what's going on now. So with streaming, let me just back up and talk about this. So this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and Kool and the Gang is the most sampled band ever. How does that make you feel that even now people are still, you know, rocking and jamming to your music?
Well, we feel very good about that. Although our good brother before he passed, Mr. James Brown, he said Kool and the Gang is #2. I'm the #1 most sampled band. Especially when we had the name Kool and the Flames, we had to change that because he had James Brown and the Famous Flames.
Yeah.
Like we didn't want to have any problem with the Godfather, so that's how we changed the name to Kool and the Gang. It
And
came,
it worked. Wow. See, that's Black, it's Black History Month. That's Black history right there. And but Mr. Brown, I heard he was something else in the most amazing way. But Kool in the Gang, I love that. And was it your idea? Because let's talk about Kool in the Gang, Kool in the Flames. Let's talk about how you decided to put all of this together.
well, it was me and my brother who passed over a year ago. I'm talking
I'm
about
sorry. Condolences.
Dennis Thomas, who also passed about a year ago, and we started off with 7. I guess they called us the Magnificent Seven at the time, and it was down to 2.
Yeah.
It was myself and George Brown.
Yeah.
With its 2 original members. Now,
Yeah.
I have guys that have been with me for 20 years, 30 years, because we're talking about next year, be 60 years.
Wow.
We started.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
we've been able to deal with the various changes in the music.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had funky stuff, Hollywood Swinging, Jungle Boogie, and then we did Summer Madness, Sesame, and then we was out on the tour with the Jacksons. And Dick Griffey, who had Solar Records,
Mm-hmm.
had that tour.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, listen, you guys are doing good on the tour. He said, but you know what? I think you need a lead singer. And we said, well, you do? So we thought about it. We said, well, the Commodores had Lionel Richie,
Mm-hmm.
and Earth, Wind and Fire had Maurice White, Philip Bailey.
Uh-huh.
And they were burning records in Chicago about disco stinks or whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. So they said, well, maybe it's time for us to make a change. So when JT Taylor came to the studio, we did not interview anybody else. He came into the studio and my brother started playing some progressions. To sing through this, a little jazz, sing to that, a little funk. And he said, well, you got the job. You remind me of a young Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
At the time.
James JT Taylor was the truth. He took your sound into a different direction and blew things out the water. I mean, everywhere you turned, there was a Kool and the Gang song on the radio.
Yeah. Surprised a lot of people when we made that change.
Yeah.
Now we had a singer, and so we had to work our music around our singer, our producer.
Yeah.
Dotto tell us, listen now, you guys can't just take up all the tracks anymore, because you got to make room for the lead singer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when we started doing that. Now I was hanging out in New York. Our very first record, my wife and I, with JT, at Studio 54
Mm-hmm.
and at Regimes. And we realized that on the weekend was a ladies' night. So I said, wow. I went back to the guys. I said, I got a great idea for one of the songs on the album. And he said, what? I said, ladies' night. Wow, they got one of those everywhere around the world.
Yes.
And that became our very first record. Frankie Crocker broke that record.
That was 1979, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie Crocker broke that record in New York. He also
Wow.
was involved with, he supported our song Hollywood Swinger.
Yeah.
They used to call him the Hollywood Swinger.
Yeah.
And so that took us to another level. Then we was able to cut songs like Too Hot and Fresh and Cherish and all the stuff we did in the 80s. Yeah.
Man, Mr. Bell, when you naming those songs, like that's really the soundtrack of my life. I'm trying to tell you, and this ain't nothing but the truth. When you just name, like, not many artists can just run down hits like that, and we know exactly where we were when they sparked. In the intro, I talked about Ladies' Night real quick. I remember 8 years old, and still to this day, it's so funny. Like me interviewing you was so divine, because I tell this story about Ladies' Night all the time. And my aunt called me and she said, do you remember, Kendall, when you were little and used to sing Ladies Night, but you used to say it wrong? And people, and just all of it in the same week, they asked if I wanted the pleasure and honor to interview you. But you know the part where it goes, I can't sing now, but let's go celebrate. When I was little, I used to say, let's go down the drain.
Well, you know, a little story about Ladies Night. First record with JT. We won 2 American Music Awards in LA. And so my brother said, I got another idea. So we said, what? At the end of celebration, said, this is your night tonight. Everything's going to be all right. Come on, let's all celebrate.
Yes.
I got another idea. He came up with a concept called celebration because we were celebrating, you know. And that song, you know, today is our strongest song yet. It's not just have become stronger than celebration. We have
incredible. And celebration, I mean, these songs are timeless. Like how, I mean, every situation that it's time to celebrate, that song is playing in the background. I've done karaoke one time in my life, and that was the song that I did was Celebration, because it's such a positive, upbeat, happy song. And there's so many things in life to celebrate. That song is going to last forever. My go-to Kool and the Gang song, and it's so crazy because at different times you play different songs. Right. But one of my favorites that gets me happy all the time is Get Down on It. That is my jam.
Well, that's
the origin
track.
Huh?
That's a strong track for us because the end of our show is Ladies Night, Get Down on It in celebration. Now, we went out on tour with Van Halen. We did 8 shows. And the fans were saying, well, Kool and the Gang and Van Halen. So David Lee Roth was watching us over in England for the Glastonbury Festival, which is more of a rock festival, U2, you know, Coldplay, et cetera, et cetera. And he called up Alex and Eddie. He said, and it was a reunion. It was David coming back to the band. So I got the group that I wanted to be not our opening act, a support act. And they said, well, who? He said, Kool and the Gang. And they said, well, Kool and the Gang? What you smoking over here, man? He said, listen, these guys just rock this festival. And he told me that 60% of his audience are ladies, okay? Said that back in the 70s, they used to play funky stuff, some about music in the studios. I'm in the clubs. And he said, well, so let's go out and have a party. So getting back to what I was saying, when we went into Ladies Night, down on it, and celebration.
Come on, that trilogy.
Those hardcore Van Halen fans, the ladies who would get up and say, you better get your butt up and get down on it.
Come on.
So we can celebrate. I mean, this was happening. We was kind of like, we said, well, we don't want to kick us off the tour. We was winning the audience over.
Man, when that beat comes in and how that song's, man, oh man, I'm telling you, my daughters who are in their 20s, they know about Kool and the Gang. And they know when they hear certain songs, they know the songs. And especially if Get Down on It plays, they'd be like, Mom, I'd be like, I hear it, I already know. But you know who keeps a lot of your music alive other than the fans who love your music? Sirius XM, they have a groove station.
Oh, yeah. I mean, BK?
Every day, throughout the day, yeah. I heard Fresh this morning. I heard Ladies Night yesterday. I heard Joanna. I heard, I mean, so every Cherish, I hear all day long. I'm like, every time I get in the car. So I'm like, I don't know if this is serendipitous, you know, if this is knowing that I'm interviewing you, but all week long. Like you're still, I don't know if you realize that, sir, you're still on heavy rotation.
Yeah. Well, you know, Sirius Radio give us a lot of love. You know, my
Yeah,
guy,
they do.
BK, and some of the other programs. Matter of fact, we're doing something coming up for the week is out next week with LL Cool J. He has a station over there at Sirius Radio.
Yeah, rock
Yes,
the bells.
you know, we have did interviews with over there.
Yeah, it's so as we wind down, because I definitely want to respect your time because I understand that you are booked, which is amazing.
Well, we thank you for that.
Feel to have a legacy like yours.
Well, it's a great feeling. I mean, to still be around. You know,
Yeah,
we started in 1964, so
yeah,
it's gonna be 60 years.
yeah,
We were young. I was 13, 14 years old.
yeah,
Original guy, but it'll be 60
yeah,
years to be around in the business where you have your ups and downs. You know, you deal with your record companies. Sometimes things were good. A lot of times things were not so good. A lot of times, you know, it's taking your record out the back door. You get a platinum record, one for you and four for the record company over in France. All that, we have to survive all that. You live
yeah,
and you learn to live.
yeah,
Publishing and writing, paying your taxes. That's another one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How about that?
They'll come and get you.
How about that? We have seen that play out in the media.
Hell yeah. But we're thankful. We're thankful that we're still around.
Yeah, I just have two more questions for you and we are going to be done. What do you want people to know about Kool and the Gang that they don't know already?
Well, that the fact that we always try to support various causes around the world, if it's for the Boys and Girls Club or for cancer. What's my wife? She passed from cancer.
I'm sorry.
Glycemia. But before my brother passed, the last album he did with us, it was called Perfect Union.
Mm-hmm.
And the single was Pursuit of Happiness. Now, President Biden, when he was nominated for the presidency, they played Celebration, okay? And he started talking about the perfect union and the pursuit of happiness. And that's when my brother came up with this, because my brother was the key writer for Celebration.
Wow.
That's when he came up with
Wow.
Pursuit of Happiness and Perfect Union. Now, maybe one day we might get a perfect union. All the world come together, but
yeah,
the great ones have tried, and
yeah,
you can't give up. Maybe
yeah,
one day, God willing, there will be a perfect union out.
yeah, yeah.
Anytime we do what we do.
Yeah. My last question for you is, what are you grateful for, Mr. Bell?
Well, the fact that coming up and being able to survive in the music business, that I've been there all my life, and learned a lot and did a lot of things. Grateful to be able to have traveled around the world. Coming out of high school, you read about various countries, and you become a knower when you go to those countries and experience. Yeah, you're dealing with the writer.
Yeah.
But when you travel, you become a knower and you see the different cultures. I mean, from Africa to Russia to Asia, you know, that's a blessing. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I want to just let the people know that you have Kool Champagne, which made Oprah Winfrey's top 10 list. This is the 40th anniversary of In the Heat, the 15th album with Joanna on it. The single soared to number 2. 7-time Grammy Award winner, sold over 80 million albums worldwide, 25 top 10 hits, 9 top 10 pop hits, 31 gold and platinum albums. This is the 50th year anniversary of the Wild and Peaceful album. It reached number 6 on Billboard's R&B chart, charted for 36 weeks, and was certified gold. This is the 50th anniversary of Jungle Boogie. The single reached number 4, Billboard's Hot 100, and 2 on the Billboard's Hot Soul Singles Certified. They better put some respect and keep some respect on Kool and the Gang's name.
When you read
Wow.
that off to me, it's a blessing because, you know, when people does the background of all the stuff we did, you know, I'm listening and say, wow, that many, we did this, we sampled that many times, we have that many platinum records, et cetera, et cetera. But we're humble. You know,
Yes.
we continue to do what we do in this business, like the Kool Champagne. I was touring in France, and we had 18 sold out shows. So the promoting companies, listen, what about, how you feel about selling champagne at your concerts? I said, well, I don't know. If my fans want to buy a bottle of champagne at a concert, they're going to want the t-shirts and caps and things like that.
Right.
I said, but I like to get on the shelves. So he looked at me. I said, yeah, I want to get on the shelves like Dom Perignon, Crystal.
Come on.
So I took it for a twist, and I came up with the name.
Love it.
And I cut a deal up in Champagne Country, up in Ypres and Reims, and we brought it to America.
I love it. Mr. Robert Kool Bell, it was such a pleasure and an honor. And I'm so glad that I got a chance to speak to you and tell you, you know, some of my Kool and the Gang favorites and the story. That was, you know, my little story, but this was amazing. I thank you so much. And I'm honored to have had this moment with you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This is Kendall Anise, the remix coach for Sheen Magazine. That is Mr. Robert Kool Bell of the legendary group Kool and the Gang. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless y'all.